Hello world, welcome back to your girl's YouTube channel. I know you guys are so excited to see me again, as well as I am excited to be here. I'm excited to talk to you guys about, of course, sexuality, the one thing that I can talk about forever, ever. I know you guys are excited, so welcome back. And as you can see that I am dressed for the occasion, honey. I have my little Dirty Maid outfit on because today I am going to talk about the lovely world of role playing. And before we get into it, can you please subscribe to my channel? Hit the little button below that says subscribe somewhere down below this screen. Please and thank you. So, role playing, honey. It is very, very beneficial for you to role play in your relationships. So you ever get to that point in your relationship where it goes stale, where you kind of get bored. Now, everybody has it. I don't care if you Beyonce, Jay-Z. I don't care if you have this whole, like, my relationship is on go, it's perfect, whatever. We got the kids, the white picket fence. Everybody gets bored one time in their relationship. You get to this point where your lifeline in your relationship is boop, dead. Well, not your lifeline, I'm sorry. But your sex line, your excitement line is like boop, dead. Okay? So what do you do when you get to that point? A lot of people, well, I don't say a lot of people, but some people decide to step out of the relationship, which is a huge no. We don't want to do that. We don't, unless you have one of those relationships, because every relationship is different. No relationship is the same. So you could have one of those relationships where you have an open relationship, and you, as long as you have that communication with each other, and that's fine by you. That's, if you want to do that in your relationship, more power to you, okay? But for those who want to keep it as a monogamous relationship and you get bored and you don't know what to do, I highly suggest role playing. And role playing is the most fun, exciting thing that you can do once your relationship gets bored or stale. And I will say that. So first, let's talk about what role playing is. Role playing is when you decide to either act out or play out a fantasy that you've been thinking about, whether it be a fantasy of you want to sleep with a maid, honey, or it could be a fantasy of you maybe wanting to act out your wife or your girlfriend might want you to be her knight in shining armor or a firefighter, and you come home and she's a damsel in distress. That is the act of role playing. So it's when you play another character, when you act out a fantasy, when you play a role that's beside yourself. You're still yourself, but you're acting out a role that your partner been thinking about, been fantasizing about, and it has nothing to do with you per se, because everybody fantasizes. And I want you guys to think, like, I don't want you guys to think that because your significant other wants you to play a role as somebody else, maybe a stripper, maybe something else, and I don't want you to feel like, oh, you've been fantasizing about sleeping with strippers, that's what you want, what's wrong with me? There's nothing wrong with you guys. You guys are perfect, but it's a human nature for a person to fantasize, to think about something else. That doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to step out and experiment. That's why you want to role play, hello, in your relationship. But I digress. So I want to tell you the first time that I decided to step into this role playing role when I was with my significant other. And role playing comes in all different shapes, sizes, acting roles, gigs. So we didn't have, when I first decided to role play, I didn't have the whole costume gear or anything. We just went to a hotel and we had decided to go separate ways to the bar. Like, he would sit on one end of the bar, I would sit on the other end of the bar. And it was like, this was called our stranger role playing. Like, I guess we both fantasized about sleeping with somebody we barely knew. So he was at one side of the bar, I was at the other side of the bar. And he walked over to me as we were strangers, and I let him up to my room, honey. being on. We had like a little nice one night stand. And when I tell you that was the most exciting, that was the thrill of that, knowing that, you know, we played that role so well, honey. Like, I was just like, we need to be strangers all the time because I don't even like who you are anymore. Like, what a stranger. But that was, I think that was the awakening to me in this role playing thrill, excitement. Like, it was, when you role play, it does in fact bring a different world to your relationship. It does add spice to it because you get to act out whoever you want to be. You don't have to be yourself. And then if you're in a relationship where your confidence level might not be at all-time high, you might be afraid to portray a certain role. Like if you want to be a slut, if you want to act out and be a bad girl, and you don't want your significant other to might judge you, role playing will be a good thing to use because you can act out and then you can just leave it there. So for instance, if you want to play like a prostitute or whatever your preference is, you can be in that moment, in that role play moment, and act out as a prostitute and then just leave it there. So your partner won't, if you're afraid that your partner might judge you because this is what you want to do, just role play it. So you can role play one night and say, I want to try something kinky. I want to try be a submissive slave. Then you be that submissive slave for that night, and then you can just leave it there for that night. You don't have to, it won't carry into your relationship unless that is something that you both agree on. But role playing allows you to get into, just to be in that moment at that particular time. You don't have to take it outside into the world. You don't have to keep portraying this role. It's like, honey, we're going to role play. I'm going to be your slut for the night, and we're just going to let it go from there unless he keeps asking. He going to love that role, honey. But role playing, if you ever get to that point in your relationships where it gets super dull, super vanilla, you're tired of the same routine, try role playing. It's a lot of benefits to that because your partner, first of all, it prevents STDs. Secondly, it prevents infidelity. So you don't have to worry about if your significant other is fantasizing about a firefighter or a stripper and they actually go out and do it. You can become that for your partner. So it will prevent, I want to say 100% infidelity, but it does prevent a lot of infidelity. It will help towards preventing infidelity. And it's fun, guys. It's fun, exciting. It's bringing something new always. You can always, there's so many different roles that you can do in role playing. Like, it will bring so much trust in me because I cannot stop. I have so many different costumes. I have so many different outfits. Like, I love role playing. That's the one thing that I don't think I would ever stop doing. Like, I love to play different roles. It's exciting. It brings it opens up communications with you guys because you can learn about what your partner likes, what your partner fantasizes about, and you be like, honey, I'm gonna do that. You're not gonna go out if you're thinking about, Brazilian women, honey. I'm about to go get my little wavy curly wig, honey, and learn some Spanish words, and you're not going nowhere. I'm gonna role play and turn into whatever you like, okay? That's how you should keep that spice going in your relationships. But I digress. So I know I've told you guys before that I am not the girl that keeps rumbling on her YouTube. So I just want you guys, here's some little homework. I want you guys to try. Either you can start slow. If you want to start as role playing like I did when you're in the bar and you're being strangers, or he's in a car and you want to walk up to his car like you barely know each other. Trust me, you can just start a slow scene. You can start a slow role. You don't have to jump into the whole major get up unless you want to, because this is fun. My little maid outfit, which will be available on my KimsPlayground.com page. I do have a role-playing section, which I have my favorite outfit, which is the head nurse. And this will be applied on there soon, guys. So you can always check out my website. And if you have any questions, you can email me at kimsplayground@gmail.com and let me know how your role playing turned out. Okay, and I also want to make an announcement before I close that I will be having my first workshop soon. It will be at the end of March, and I want to thank everybody for RSVPing, honey, because when I tell you, I thought that I was literally going to have like 10 or 12 girls RSVP, and I have so far 75 and counting. So I just want to thank you guys, and y'all asses better show up, okay? Don't be RSVPing and have me buy all this stuff and y'all asses don't show up. But come and meet your girl. I'm probably going to do another workshop at the end of April. So if you're not able to make this one, I'll have a second one and a third one and a fourth one and a fifth one, honey. So I can't wait to meet all of you guys. And I'll say it again, don't forget to subscribe. Hit that little button at the bottom of this YouTube page. And I'll see you guys soon.